Welcome. This is Suzanne,
Lauri, Susan,
Roxie.
and we are Three Old Broads and a Lady. And today we're going to talk about customer service, something I'm sure a lot of you are very much well aware of. So normally Susan has the facts, but today it's me. So you're stuck. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information that I researched about the difference between boomers and millennials, boomers and zoomers, in their respect of how they expect customer service to be. So what it says is baby boomers prefer traditional human-centric customer service, such as phone calls and in-person support, valuing detailed patient explanations. In contrast, millennials favor fast, digital-first, omni-channel experiences, live chat, social media, and self-service, which is why I think a lot of times it's hard to get somebody to help you. They demand speed and efficiency. Boomers favor telephone support and in-person interactions, valuing face-to-face service, which I think is true. And millennials prefer digital channels, including live chat, social media, and messaging apps. So what do you guys think about that?
No, I agree completely. I would much rather call someone and talk to a live person. I'm the one who's always sitting on the phone going, representative, until the recording winds up and finally they send you to someone.
Well, because the thing is that your problem is always very specific to whatever you need. And when you're talking to an online bot or whatever it is you're talking to, it has general answers about the sort of problem you have.
Frequently asked questions. Have you ever seen your question on the list of frequently asked questions when you sign on to something and they say, well, here, is this your problem? And they give you all of this. And it's never, no, that's not my problem. My problem is I can't talk to a real person.
Yes, or my problem is kind of that, except I have this extra detail that I need to, communicate. And you can't do that with a machine. Well, you just can't. But you can do it with a human being.
Right.
Because they can adjust.
I have to say, I spoke to a young man on the phone about something not too long ago. And of course, he was very nice. And when I finally got a hold of him. And at the end of it, of course, he says, well, you can sign on to the website and get our help, And I said, but then I wouldn't be talking to you. I said, you see, because I know that you're going to take this responsibly and take care of my problem for me, aren't you? And he was like, yeah. It's like,
when contacting Frontier,
one
of my favorite companies, as you're waiting on the phone for 3 hours for for a bot to answer, they keep saying, you can get online and take care of whatever your problem is. Well, I'm calling them because I have no internet.
Yeah.
So how do I get online?
How do you do that? There's definitely a gap between what they can do for you over the phone and what, a live person can do if you can get a hold of one. But I honestly think that quite often they've got one person. Well, one live person, and everything else is just being shunted off to electronic
One
stuff.
of the things that I used to do when they first started using the AI bots was I would just keep hitting the 0 button. I would just bam, 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 and finally it would go, let me connect you to a customer service rep.
I've done that too.
Yeah. I'm not waiting.
That works sometimes, and then sometimes it just hangs up.
Well, yeah, it doesn't do it now. You can sit there and keep hitting, and they don't do it. They've figured that out. So, no, you're not getting to them in less than 4.5 hours. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen.
Calm down. Or the one where they say, we'll call you back.
Oh,
and so you sit around, you say, well, I needed to go to the store, I needed to go to the post office, I needed to do all this stuff. No, you got to sit there and wait for them to call you back.
Well, when they tell you that, your call will be answered in 57 minutes, or we'll call you back and you won't lose your place in line. Well, that means that they aren't going to call you back for 57 minutes.
One time, the first time I tried this, I said, okay, I'll try this. I'll just go ahead, leave my, my name and my number, whatever. And they were going to call me back. And they called me back at 6:45 p.m. 6:45. I was on the phone, well, near the phone, for all that time waiting for the call to come in. And I called at 11 o'clock. So that was a boatload of time that I was kind of hanging around attached to my phone. And because, I don't carry my phone in my pocket. It keeps popping out all the time. Whatever. And so, but you have to take it with you wherever you go. Oh, I got to go to the service porch and get the stuff out of the dryer. And I have to take my phone with me. And then I have to trot down the hall and put it where it's supposed to go. And to take the phone and other things that, naturally occur during the day. And you always got your stupid phone with you and you're waiting for the call to come in at 6:45 p.m.
Well, but on the other side of the world, they just got up and went to work. It's been nighttime the whole time. There has been no customer service available because it's not coming from, next door to you now. It's across the
halfway across
the world. Yeah. But you know what? There are people who are hired to be at your service at different places. I always am annoyed at the post office personally. I spend a lot of time at the post office because of a foundation that I'm in charge of sending out checks to students that are, scholarships to students. And so I always have to wait in line because I don't just send it through the mail. I send it, by priority mail and all that sort of thing. And there will be people just standing there doing nothing, ignoring you. And while a whole line of people are waiting and waiting and waiting, and they don't even acknowledge that you're there. I think they purposely don't acknowledge you. And there's all kinds of things like that.
Well, they don't look up. See, if they don't make eye contact with you, then they figure, well, you'll either go away or,
Or it's like a baby playing peekaboo. If they can't see you, you're not there. So
that's kind of like that. So the other day at the supermarket, I only had a question about this, what I was going to buy. And I went to the deli section. Somebody else comes up right ahead of me, darn it, from the other side. And so she and I are standing there waiting. There's this woman behind the counter, and she is piling a bunch of chicken pieces and salads and, whatever else into these containers and putting them aside and then grabbing another one, putting them aside. And I'm waiting. I'm looking at her. All she has to do is look up. And she's got to see that I'm here and this other woman's here. Then this other woman comes out from behind, where the kitchen area is, where they cook the chickens and the cookies or whatever. And she comes out and she's going to wheel a bunch of chickens over to the heat lamp over near the checkout area, that's point of purchase, And she comes out and she indicates to this other lady to move her cart. She doesn't say, "Oh, excuse me, I want to get by here." Well, so automatically the lady pulls back her cart and goes and this woman wheels her way over to the heat lamp. And then when she comes back kind of in a slightly different way, and she does the same thing to me. I have to wheel back so she can get the cart back into the kitchen area.
And still hasn't said anything to you?
Yeah, she hasn't said, not a word has been said by either of these two people. And this other person's still piling up these boxes of things. And all I had was a question. So anyhow, then the woman comes back out again with more chicken to put away. And I said, "Excuse me, when do you wait on the customers here?" And she says, "Oh," I said, "Well, who does it? Who waits on the customers?" And she said, "Well, we do. We wait on you." I said, "When is this going to happen?" And I could see over my shoulder. I could actually see over her shoulder the woman that was standing there before me. And she doubles over in laughter, just covered her face and her mouth so she wouldn't, make a scene. But anyways, I see her do that. And she just so blatantly just says, "Oh, well, we do." My God, she had to know we were there. She made us move our carts, maneuvering it. And then this other woman, I don't know what she was up to. Well, anyway, so you just she said, "Well, I'll help you in just a few minutes." And so she delivers the chickens And by that time, I just got kind of bored. Said, I don't have to get this question answered. I'm leaving. I don't know what happened to the other lady, but when she left, before the woman with the cart, the thing left to go to the heat lamp with the chickens, she looks at me, she looks across, she says, "Thanks for doing that. That's what I was thinking too." Yeah. When do you do this? At what particular time do you do this? Who are these people? Who trained them?
Nobody.
Apparently nobody.
Nobody. It's the same. I mean, when I started working in the grocery store, we had to go through 2 weeks training to run the cash register and to bag before we could even go to the store to work. They don't do that anymore. That's why your eggs are at the bottom of the
True. Yeah.
And they put all of your cold items in a regular bag and all your regular items in the cold bag. So they don't train them. They don't
Apparently
train them.
not.
It's the same thing with the heavy items. They used to have contests with the baggers where they would have them bag everything really fast, and then they would weigh each bag, and each bag should be similar in weight.
Right. Not anymore.
Oh, no, all the heavy items go in one bag.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why is that? I don't know.
I don't know. I told one time, usually I don't say anything. I just go out and rearrange everything. But this one time, this kid threw all this heavy stuff in the bag, and he was a nice kid, but I went to pick it up, and I said, "You know what?" And he said, "What?" And I said, "When you're my age, you're not going to be able to pick this up either. You spread it out."
Oh, what?
And he's all, "I'm sorry.
Well, at least he said he was sorry.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would have been like, well, maybe next time.
Meanwhile, the cashier is charging you for an extra bag. Oh, that'll be another dime. For
Yeah, but if you have 2 bags, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
I
what they
always
do.
have to.
I bring those dopey bags with me if I can remember, and the ones that unfold and you can use them again. Although sometimes not. But anyway, they'll fill up one bag full of the really heavy stuff, and the other has just the potato chips or whatever. There's just air inside, and you have to yank it out of the cart to get it in your car. And these new carts are real deep.
They are.
And I'm sometimes
Lauri's falling in them.
If I have something in the cart and I'll put it, most of the stuff I try to put in the little baby seat area, it's easy to get it out.
Right.
But if you have something that will slide itself down to the end of the cart, I have to reach in and go all the way. It goes all the way up into my armpit for me to grab this thing out of the cart. And I just think these are so poorly designed. Who designed this place anyway? Who decided that this was the cart of the future or something? Because these are fairly new carts. Yikes. And so I'm not expecting customer service on that one, but because I certainly wouldn't be talking to the designer of the the way they lay out the store. But it would be nice once in a while for people to look up and be cheerful and happy and nice. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been to Chick-fil-A, but when I go to, they have a nice chicken sandwich, so I go there sometimes. And
I boycott Chick-fil-A.
They're all real nice.
I boycott Chick-fil-A.
Well, that's okay. People work there, and I like the people that work there, so I go there, and it's close. And I've never had a bad chicken sandwich, so okay. And I don't boycott anyway. That's my motto. People work at these places, and they have nothing to do with boycotting. So I just go wherever
they
I go.
don't get the money that you spend.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but I don't know how much they make, but anyway, anyhow, so they're nice. And of course, that might be just the one I go to. But other places, and another one, In-N-Out Burger, they're always nice because I've been to many of those.
Yeah.
They must go to school because they.
Now, see, I don't go to In-N-Out Burger because there's always such a long line.
Yeah,
that's true.
But to tell you the truth, they're pretty fast because they have them taking the orders outside. So all you're basically doing is going through. When there's a really, really long line, it takes about 20 minutes.
That's longer than
right.
I am going to wait
That's
for
just
a
longer than
burger.
you're gonna wait too. Yeah.
Yeah, nope, sorry. I'll wait.
I know. Well, obviously, and it doesn't matter where you are. You can be in the middle of nowhere at an In-N-Out, and there's a long line around it. So obviously, they understand their customers.
They seem to. There's one just outside the complex that I live in, right? So I mean, I can walk to the In-N-Out, which I have done on occasion. But Yeah, but it's got a very tiny little area to drive into, though. So if there's more than like 6 cars in line, you're going to be sitting in the street, and there's a long.
Oh yeah, sometimes they're out in traffic.
A lot of them have
been
they've been redoing them because of that. The one on Lambert past Harbor, that one had a line that went all the way down. So they redid the whole thing. So you come in around the backside and then go in. They all have big long lines. It doesn't matter where you are. The one on Telegraph is just as bad.
That is bad.
Yeah. That one blocks the driveway going into the bank.
Well, they have ones that have 2 lines.
Yeah.
And you drive in the driveway and
you split and you go
split, and they have it's all of the orders and everything is separate, and so you get out without having to clog up the real traffic.
But sometimes I have been at a driving past because I don't go to In-N-Out, but it hasn't even opened yet, and there's already a long line of people waiting, and it's still closed.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised though. They do a great burger. What can I say?
If you really want a good burger, that's where you have to go. That's all. But my daughter lives in Aurora, Colorado, and they got their first In-N-Out burger in Aurora about a year ago. And the line is a half an hour to 40 minutes long.
I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
I said, well, have you gone to the In-N-Out yet? And she goes, oh, God, no, Mom. I know.
Yeah, you saw this calf out in the I'm just in Colorado, so it's eating grass and everything, and that's the cow that you'll eventually get in your hamburger.
It will be
because it takes that long.
Here's the thing, don't ever have an In-N-Out burger. You won't know what you're missing, and then you won't spend half of your life in a line waiting to buy a burger.
People in New York don't like In-N-Out burgers. They like Shake Shack, and there's Shake Shacks here. People don't like them. They like In-N-Out burger.
There's one closed. I saw one go in, and I went, oh, I'll have to try that sometime because everybody talks about how great they are. And by the next time I came around, it was closed.
Gone.
Well, there's one in San Diego that I went to, and personally, I didn't see what the big deal was, but it's different tastes, obviously. My friend who lives in Reno, when they got the first In-N-Out up there, she said, what is the deal with Californians in this hamburger? I don't see any difference from any other hamburger. And I'm like, oh, you're crazy. Yeah. you don't know what you're talking about.
You're misinformed.
There was this guy on TV. It was a television host guy, and he would interview various people. And the one guy says, well, I'm going to go out to Los Angeles to be in some kind of a thing. I don't know, appear at some kind of rally or something. And he says, oh, I'm going out. He says, well, make sure that you go to the In-N-Out. And he's from back. This guy, the host guy's from back east, and every time he comes to of the other coast, our coast, he always goes to In-N-Out, and he tells everybody, if you're going to Los Angeles, because there's a big In-N-Out right at the airport, and he says, just as you're leaving the airport, pull in and get yourself a burger. But you know what? Customer service is good there too. They're really pleasant people. I've never run into anybody. Well, not at the drive-through. That sounds terrible. I've never met anybody at the drive-through.
Thank God you've never run into anybody at the drive-through.
And they know exactly. Of course, then again, they know exactly what you're going to order because they only like.
That's right. There's no choice there either.
They got 3 items, and they're all hamburgers. Cheese, no cheese, 2 patties. That's about it. But
oh, there's just. The secret
menu, though, that's another thing. But we're not going to talk about that today.
Because we're talking about customer service. Actually, we're not talking about customer service. We're talking about In-N-Out burgers. So.
That's our usual modus operandi.
Yes, we got off on another tangent. Yeah. So
I closed an account at a bank once because it was on my lunch hour and I wanted to put some money in the bank. And it was payday and I wanted to deposit my check. So I go over to the bank. It was really close to where I worked. And I had like 40 minutes for lunch. So I, went over there. And I get out and I get in line. And there was tellers there and at the bank. And they were waiting on people. And there were a lot of people because a lot of people, I guess, go to the bank at noontime because that's when to go. And this one woman who was quite young and and very slim and very turned out, and all this. And she was apparently the manager or something. And she started reaming out one of the tellers or something. And they got into this big argument, and right in front of all of us. Ugh. And I didn't have much money in this account because it was kind of inconvenient to go there. But I thought I would go there and put a deposit in, and all this. Well, it took forever to get all this stuff worked out. And then I got so angry, and everybody else who was in line was angry too. And there was at least a half a dozen people ahead of me. And I got up to the window, and they said, "Well, what can I do for you today?" And I said, "I want to close my account." And I did. I closed my account. They gave me all of the money I had in the account. And I said, if you guys are going to carry on like this, I don't want to bank here. And I left, and I put my money somewhere else.
Good for you.
So there. But yeah, bad customer service is everywhere.
Just bad behavior. But, well, you talk about having to stand in line at lunchtime, and we were talking about the post office earlier. I have never seen more than one teller at the station during like lunch hour. It's like when I was at Sears, they used to schedule us so that we had more people on across what was normally a lunch hour than any other time, because they knew that people were going to come in on their lunch hour and try to get something quick done really quickly, And now it's like, oh no, you guys go to lunch. It's lunchtime, and there's one person working. I don't understand that.
Well, and now, like pharmacies and other places, they close for an hour now.
Right.
Where you can't go. There's nobody. There's not even one person, because they're closed for an hour at the pharmacy. And if you just happen to go, oh, I think I'll go at 12:45, and then you get there and it's like they're closed until 1:30.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
No, yeah, CVS does that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
CVS, sometimes there's a pharmacist on duty and then one other person.
True.
And you're just going, I need some help with this, because some stuff is locked up, still locked up. And so how can this guy be in two places at once? And it's so embarrassing if you need something, if some, guy has to open up the little little door for you to buy some feminine product, and
Miss Lydia's little pink pills or whatever it is. Yeah.
So it's like, oh geez.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he doesn't even have time for customer service.
No.
Because he's all over the place.
Well, when I worked at Burger King back in the day, there used to be shoppers that would come by, and if there was anything that they didn't like, you would get in trouble.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like, I personally, I didn't do suggestive selling when I was, when there was a shopper there. I was always supposed to say, and would you like some fries with that? Some golden fries with that. They're the best in town.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to say that literally to anybody who hadn't ordered fries.
An attempt to mean it.
And I could never bring myself to do that. And so I got dinged by a shopper. But do they have those anymore?
No, they don't. They used to have them. I worked at May Company. It had shoppers coming in there all the time, rating.
Mm-hmm.
And that was your
Job evaluation.
Yeah, there you go. I
put on your
think of
record.
evaluation would not come into my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be your evaluation. You would not get a raise. You would not move up. You know. And it was the same thing. You had to follow a certain pattern, but they don't do that anymore. One of the things that I looked at on here is, what's happened to customer service. And it says customer service has declined due to a combination of corporate cost cutting, of course, because all that 1% needs at least, $50 or $60 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. Increased reliance on AI chatbots, which we've already talked about, and overworked staff. It says it all leads to record levels of consumer frustration. Companies are prioritizing short-term savings over long-term loyalty, making it harder to reach human agents and creating a new normal of long wait times and inadequate solutions. So, in other words, they don't care.
They know,
They don't
and
care.
they
It's
don't.
It's not anything that is important to them.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work because people just don't go back. They find another way, and most stuff you can, go online and buy something. So
This NPR said that 74% of Americans experienced service problems in 2023, causing increased consumer outbursts, which in turn leads to poorer service interactions. So you get mad at the person that's helping you, and then they just don't give a shit. Pardon me, shit.
Say that once more.
Well, like when I wanted to get that, I wanted to get something, an attachment for my camera. And they said, oh, I don't think we have that. I went, okay, could you look maybe? And she said, but I guess I bought the camera here. And she said, no, you didn't. So I had the camera for about 6 years, and she looked like she was about 18. So, she was 12 when I bought the camera. And so since they didn't have that particular camera anymore, although they did sell the brand, obviously I didn't buy it there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, but with all the online buying that happens now, which is a return to the old Sears and Roebuck model, really.
Yeah.
The thing that kind of drives me crazy also is sort of the opposite of customer service, which is how many people of a much younger age than I am who have no compunction about buying something, using it, and then returning it. Even sometimes obviously used, and getting a refund on it. But they don't, and they plan that in advance. That's part of the thing. Like we do plays and things. We are all theatrical people here. And I've had some people that have bought props for the play. And then as soon as we're done with the play, then they return those props and turn it in. And that's got to be something that then kills the whole process, the whole commercial process, which is then going to make the service less for us because they don't respect us as customers. And so therefore they don't care whether they give us good service because we're no longer respecting their product.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and it's so easy to return stuff to Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really easy. As long as you're in that 30-day time, they take it back.
When I worked at Sears, they had Craftsman tools, which still exist, and they had a massive guarantee on them. But if you had a Craftsman tool, it was guaranteed for life.
Oh, yeah.
It was warranted. And people used to bring stuff back, and they would have a hammer that they had actually broken the head off of it. God only knows how you do that with a hammer. But they had, and they would give them a new one. Oh, okay, here you go. Here's a brand new hammer. I don't know how they managed. They did great business in tools, but I don't know how they managed because people would abuse that stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a minute and 52.
That
is 30. I don't know why. I have no idea why your thing's doing.
No, because it is 1:52 now.
Oh, okay.
In the afternoon, folks, for those of you who are keeping score.
I thought it was saying that we were only recording for 1 minute and 52 seconds.
No.
God,
it's saying that we've been on for 30 minutes.
30 minutes
Wow.
of customer
non-customer service.
Non-customer service.
But I did
about 15 minutes of in and out.
I know. But when we started off with the good customer service there, that it always is. Hey, I really like them.
And I didn't even get to tell my bad customer service story. So,
Oh,
no, that's me being a bad.
yeah, I
service
didn't get to mine
customer.
either.
So
Thank
anyway,
goodness.
we'll have to
You'd
take
think
this
less
up
of me.
another time.
Because the edibles are waiting.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Are you sure they're done?
I don't know. Can you smell them yet?
Okay.
And
So, I guess join us next time. I'm actually pleading and begging that you join us next time.
Oh, please, yes.
When we, again, won't know what we're talking about, probably until we sit down right in front of the microphones. But until then, this is Suzanne.
This is Lauri.
This is Susan.
This is Roxie.
And
we
we
are
are 3 old bras and a lady.